Yeah, okay, Jake, you vanished off the face of the earth for like 4 months and that's all you could come up with? Is that all you got, really? Why yes, I am doing good, thank you for asking. This game's really short! Wave Race 64 came out in 1996 as a launch title for the N64 and was designed to emulate an arcade game. While it's the middle child in this family of 3 games, the N64 installment actually stands out from the crowd and is often the most well-remembered of the bunch, specifically because of its well-tuned controls and graphical advancement at the time. Just look at those waves! I need both of my hands to count the number of polygons on them. As far as content, you have all the standard fixins for a home console racing game. A Grand Prix, time trial, multiplayer, and if you're feeling extra spicy, the stunt mode. But with only 8 courses, 9 if you count the practice area, the game focuses more on getting the most mileage out of its content than going for the most grand spectacle possible. Instead, the player is encouraged to improve their skills and play around with the various settings to improve their time and score. Jumping into the game is quick and easy, just pick a mode, suit up your stats, and choose from the wide selection of characters such as Surfer Dude, Other Surfer Dude, Fat Dude, and Girl. Jeez, there's more knobs and dials on this jet ski than on my freaking car. I mean, you even have an initial entry at the end of every game mode. This was definitely a product of its time. Now that I mention it, a big reason why I remember this game so fondly is its overall feeling. Wave Race 64 is easily the most late 80s to early 90s aesthetic I've ever experienced. You've got an extreme sport in a tropical setting, brimming with attitude, with its simplified color scheme, low polygon count, and that gorgeous soundtrack. Please, I beg you, take a listen. Whoever was the sound engineer who designed that electric guitar, I really hope you got a promotion because hot damn does this game get its money's worth from it. Maybe I'm a bit biased as I grew up in the mid-90s in a very similarly tropical region. Every time I boot up this game, I get a flood of nostalgia. I don't think I could even put it into words. Instead, just look at this visual representation of my brain activity every time I think about this game. My doctor handed me a piece of paper with this on it, and I said, "Doc, is this really what's going on in my noodle?" The doctor says nothing, does the electric slide right out of the office, and 45 minutes later I realize I haven't been to a doctor in over 5 years. Where does this design come from? Other than that, this game really benefited off of 2 other things, its main gimmick and its identity as a launch title. There really wasn't much in the way of a standard for content at the time, as the jump to 3D graphics was more about showing off what was possible than how much you could do in a game. And believe me, this game really likes to show off. And besides, other than Hydro Thunder, I dare you to name another game that specifically focuses on racing watercraft. Racing watercraft. On racing watercraft. Bodie go fast. I'll wait, come on. Yeah, I didn't think so. Here's a pro tip. If you want to make an impressive launch title for your console, make a game that shows off the water graphics. This game did it, the GameCube did it, hell, the Wii took things one step further and let you go fishing in it. Now, for the meat and potatoes of the game, like I said, there's not really much to talk about here. I'll say one thing, this game feels really good to control. This was made during the time when analog control sticks were revolutionary, so much more consideration was put into making the game feel tailor-fit for the controller. Internally, the game was referred to as F-Zero but on water. I didn't make that up, that's literally on the wiki page, and I feel like that's actually pretty accurate. There's no other way for me to describe it than it really feels like you're piloting a giant motor-powered machine in the water. The momentum is gradual, the turning has just the right amount of delay, the jet skis feel distinctly buoyant, and getting sick airtime is rewarding, but punishes you hard for not landing in just the right way. Speaking of which, this game gives you an option that is criminally underutilized in racing games, and that's the ability to style on your opponents. It does absolutely nothing. There's no speed boost, no point system in the main racing mode, and you're putting yourself at the risk of losing all of your momentum if you mess up, but that's what makes it so satisfying. Nothing bleeds personality into a game more than overlapping your opponent, doing a headstand and saying, "Sup loser, how's that water taste?" Speaking of style, if you really want to test your skills, you have the stunt mode, where your goal is to perform as many tricks as possible while making it through the course in the allotted time. There's a bit of a dance to it, as just doing the same stunt over and over again gets you less points, and some tricks are more suited to certain jump heights than others. The choice of courses is interesting as well. You've got as much of a selection as you could probably expect from a water-themed racing game. You got a couple of beaches, a lake, the Arctic, a commercial and a military arena, and the obligatory orange juice level. You just gotta have one. It's like an unwritten law or something. Each one has enough set pieces and obstacles to set each other apart. My favorite course being the last one in the Grand Prix, where the sea level changes every lap, and the ramps and the shortcuts you can take differ because of it. In reality, the most fun you can have with this game is the little moments of trying to cheat the system, looking for shortcuts in the environment, and seeing what you can get away with. This kind of game rewards the player who rides around the training modes, sees the dolphin moving laps around them, and says to themselves, "Oh, forget this, I want to ride that thing." And what do you know, the devs thought about those kind of situations. Odds are, if there's something you think you could feasibly do in the game, then there's a way to pull it off if you're skilled enough. Or, failing that, you can always change careers and go scuba diving. Despite most people who had an N64 back in the day saying they knew about Wave Race, it seems like it did get overshadowed by the saturation of other racing games that came out at the time. Even though Wave Race was one of the first and the only few of its kind, games like Mario Kart 64, Diddy Kong Racing, and Crash Team Racing all came out shortly afterwards, each bringing something more to the table. Power-ups, 4-player modes, battle modes, a unique story, and a hub world, there was so much more potential to the genre that had yet to be tapped into. When you look back on its competition at the time, it's funny that Wave Race, for being a game all focused on the water side of racing games, was actually kind of shallow in the end. So yeah, what else can I say? There isn't really anything else to this game. It still manages to be memorable, mostly due to its timing, since there weren't a lot of games out when the N64 first released. A lot of people had this game lying around, and not too many games since have done anything like it. If you have the chance to, I definitely recommend you try it out, if you're not paying too much for it. The game can get you a good 3 to 4 hours of entertainment if it sounds like something that might hook you, and I'm really stretching for anything else to say about this game. It's really that short, and I gotta fill up that 10-minute video lane, so how about we listen to that soundtrack again, okay? It's the only real reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place. Sound good? Okay, see you guys next time!